Hello, everyone, and welcome to MCUnhinged, 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 whatever you want to call it. Podcast where we talk about movies in the MCU and eventually shows. And this part that I say is always different. So I'm your host Tyler, and with me, as always, is Shibuya and Shawn. How's it going?
Howdy.
Woo! It's Spider-Man!
Yes. Remember that you can find this podcast on Spotify and Anchor. Well, I guess it's not Anchor anymore. It's Spotify for podcasters. I don't know. Whatever it is now, you can find it there too. There's a video version on Spotify. There's a video version on YouTube. Link in the description. All that stuff. How are we feeling about Spider-Man before we get into all the stats? Do I do the stats first, or do I don't know.
I think you introduced the movie first.
Today we're doing Spider-Man Homecoming. The movie came out in 2017 at a runtime of 2 hours and 13 minutes. Directed by John Watts and written by Jonathan Goldstein, John Francis Daly, and John Watts as well. A lot of Johns. With a budget of $175 million and a box office of $880,166,924 worldwide, with a 45.1 domestic and 54.9 international split. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 38 nope, that can't be right. It can't be 38%.
That is not, there is no way in hell that is correct.
Spider-Man Homecoming. I typed it something wrong here.
That's fine. We just edit this out later.
Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's better if I leave it in. Let's see. 92% with critics. 87. Yeah. Where's this number from? 87% with audiences. I have 38 and 62.
Wait, what?
Okay,
what?
Hold on. Wait.
Are you sure that is
like
Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man or?
Hold on.
No, 800 million sounds
okay. No. So 880 million for the box office worldwide, with a 38% domestic and 62% international split.
Shit.
And then the Rotten Tomatoes is 92 for audience, for critics, and 87 for audience. There we go. That's all sorted out. Has a 7.4 on IMDb and an 81 on Google.
Shockingly low for a Google score, I think.
Yeah.
Well
below the average.
Iron Boy Jr.,
Yeah.
So unfortunately.
I can't wait we get there, dude.
You mentioned Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly, who have co-writing credits for this movie, but you also mentioned Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, who I believe rewrote and then wrote while filming. And
a lot of hands on this movie.
Yeah, well, Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are going to go on to do 2 and 3 in the trilogy. They become the main writers for the whole trilogy. But Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly are both known for like kind of game night, like those kinds of comedy films.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I think also they directed the new Dungeons and Dragon movie that is coming out in this week or whatever.
Okay.
At one point they were attached to The Flash, but let's be honest, who in Hollywood wasn't attached to The Flash at some point?
I actually have a writing credit on The Flash.
But I think you can feel some of that, like I think that there's a certain energy to this movie that it doesn't really exist in or is toned down a little bit in Far From Home and No Way Home. And I think you can feel the kind of game night, Dungeons and Dragons. It's a little more comical than serious in a way, where I think it balances out a little bit more in the following movies when Chris McKenna and Eric Summers have it from Jump. But I really like this movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
I say that like the tone is balanced more towards humor than seriousness, but I love that. This movie feels it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie because that's No Way Home, but
I mean, yeah.
This one feels the most like a Spider-Man comic
Boy, I
To
don't know
me.
why Sean's like capping the podcast.
What?
He told me in private that his favorite was Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now,
No,
one can make an
don't
argument,
lie.
but
Don't lie.
I don't
Don't
know.
lie.
I don't know why
Andrew
he's capping for the
Garfield.
podcast.
Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, but those movies are not my favorite Spider-Man movies.
I
Yeah,
wish he got better material to fucking work with, man.
Yeah. I love the like kind of John Hughes coming of age, like very comedic. Doesn't take itself too seriously until the end.
During shooting, they watched a bunch of John Hughes films.
Yeah. It is it's a vibe that continues into the next movie and then completely disappears for the last one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
So, do you have any thoughts?
Out of all of the Spider-Man like iterations that we've seen from Hollywood, it's nice to get one where, you know, the person they cast to play Peter Parker feels like he actually is a high schooler instead of, you know, being a 30-something or being like an adult in high school with a bunch of adults. This feels the most grounded in like, oh, they cast people who are like teenage adjacent or probably like 19 in some cases to play teenagers, and I buy into it. That already gets me in more than like Raimi Spider-Man is camp, but Raimi Spider-Man, they're all in their 30s. It's so fucking hilarious.
Especially
every time I go back to it.
Fucking desperate.
Yeah, Flash is
Fucking desperate.
oh boy, Flash in those movies. And I really enjoyed this iteration of Spider-Man. I don't care what people fucking say about it. I especially for having to bring him into the MCU. I'm so grateful that they decided to skip the origin story and make it more of like how do I even put it? This feels like in any other Spider-Man trilogy, this would have been the second movie. Where he's already established. He's already got like the well, he doesn't have the great power comes great responsibility thing yet, but he's already in that role. He's already doing shit. This felt like, you know, it would have been a second movie if I don't know how to word it right.
No, I think I get what you're saying. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. I am going to push back slightly on the he hasn't had the great power, great responsibility thing, because like he hasn't literally been told that yet. But that argument always bothers me when people use it against this version.
I'm not using it against. I know, I'm not using it against him. I'm just saying like we're not having to do that immediately, and thank fuck for that.
Yeah, but my point is he has had that. He said it in Civil War. It wasn't worded when great power comes great responsibility. But it's the same thing. Like he's had that lesson already.
Yeah, he's had the when you can do the things that I can do and you don't, then it's on you. I appreciate that. I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
And having a teenage Peter have to mature and become a little more responsible with the not the literal powers he's been given, but like the tech powers. I think it's a really good plot for a movie like this.
It's great.
Phenomenal. And Iron Boy Jr., shut the fuck up, haters.
Yeah, please. I
love this shit. Shut up.
It's so good. Yeah, I knew you weren't saying that. It's just, I always, like, especially after No Way Home, when they got that line, I saw a lot of people being like, he finally learned that lesson. It only took them 3 movies.
No.
It's like, no, he had that lesson at the fucking beginning.
No,
like,
that was specifically to shut all of you up.
And it's a nice moment. It works in that movie. I like that moment. It's just like, he's already had that moment.
That moment is more there, I think, specifically as an homage to Spider-Man as a whole, because that is like the line for Spider-Man in the comics and for every other iteration. So of course it had to happen in the trilogy at some point. And it's a phenomenal capstone to like everything that Spidey stands for and fighting through loss and grief and anger in order to come out the other side still being able to help people.
It's great.
Yeah.
Tyler, are you good now, or are you still looking, or
all right.
Okay.
Yeah, the Spider-Man movie, great. I love it. I love Spider-Man. I'm the Spider-Man guy.
You are. That's true.
Yeah.
even though
So-
I'm Spider-Man in the picture.
So here's what I was looking up. I just wanted to be sure that in the month between Civil War and this movie that the timeline takes place, Peter's room changed, and that's just something
Yeah,
I
it did.
noticed. I
It
just
changed
had
a
to- I
lot.
had to sift through both
The
movies
whole
just to make
apartment changes, doesn't it?
I think the living room looks the same, but
Does
his
it? Okay.
his room layout is completely different. Like there used to be a closet on the right of his door. That's
Well,
no
he
longer
has
there.
like a bunk bed now.
Yeah, he also has a bunk bed. The windows in a different
The
place.
room's
It's
like
just all different.
yellowish.
MCU
He's
trash,
got the bunk
actually.
bed. The layout's
MCU
different.
trash, actually. Well, that's why these movies fucking suck. You know, they just
It can't
Robert
beat
Downey
Tobey
Jr. got
Maguire
involved and just had to change everything. You know, because somehow it's always his
They
fault.
should have just made Spider-Man 4 with the lizard.
Yeah, where's Toby? And bring back Sam Raimi and
God,
Fucking-
do not.
MJ without any emotions.
That was your one.
It was not my one. It was not my one.
Wait, do you have another one in this? When would you ever bring it up?
I wouldn't, but that's not my one.
Oh,
All right.
That is your one for the
I thought-
episode, bud.
No.
I thought you had one
I didn't say
planned.
anything about that movie. I just said
Yeah,
don't
but
Sam
but
Raimi.
when the name Sam Raimi popped up, you went don't.
Yeah, don't. I don't like any of his movies. Kinda.
That's true.
Not
Tyler
specifically
has gone
that
on the
movie.
record with me that he does not like any of Sam Raimi's movies.
I mean, that's fair. That style's not necessarily going to be for everybody.
Not even the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. He does not like them at all. He actually hates them.
That's sexual.
Now hold on.
You're spitting. I'm letting you cook.
Yeah. I like
Okay.
the first one.
I mean, 2 is my favorite, but that's, the most common fucking opinion in the world. I think 3 is one of the best bad movies.
It's a really good bad movie.
It's such a fun bad movie.
Like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not a fun bad movie. Spider-Man 3 is a fun bad movie.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 could have been a fun bad movie if the Rhino was the main villain and not
Oh, God.
anybody
and
else.
he's doing that voice the whole time. Oh my god.
We were
The one thing-
robbed.
Oh.
The one thing the original trilogy has is Betty Brant, Elizabeth Banks.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Love my
Also,
life.
Gwen Stacy's in it.
That's true. Bryce
She is
Dallas
in that
Howard.
third movie.
Yep. She does it. All right. So before we get into the recap of the plot, I have an apology
Oh.
to make.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What are you saying? It's an apology.
I just hang on. Let me just get ready to unfollow you in case. I just want to know what you're apologizing for before I.
Okay. When we covered Civil War,
Okay.
I made a big mistake.
Okay.
And I'm gonna amend that mistake here going forward. That I forgot to make the connection of Peter Parker to Iron Man 2. I'm sorry. I forgot to do it.
God. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Forgot to do it. Just completely slipped my mind. But I'm gonna go into the files. I'm gonna redo the assets. It's gonna be all good.
You're totally gonna do that, yeah.
Yeah, I am. Not for those episodes. Those episodes are done. All the stuff for that, deleted. Gone. But for this episode and everyone going forward, it will be fixed. All right. So
All right. I went and grabbed some water. I couldn't listen to you any longer.
so we open up in 2012, the aftermath of the Battle of New York. Adrian
Man.
Toombs, played by Michael Keaton.
We're gonna see this so many times. The Battle of New York. We're gonna see this so many times.
Is Michael Keaton is looking at a picture of his daughter, or not a picture that his daughter drew. I missed some words here in my typing. Of the Avengers. He says, when I was a kid, I used to draw cowboys and Indians. And then Phineas Mason goes, actually, it's Native American, but whatever. Also, let's talk about Phineas Mason for just a minute.
Okay.
He's a
Okay.
tinkerer, right? He's a tinkerer. That's pretty known. They
Mhm.
changed his character in the video game to be Finn, Miles' best friend.
Yes.
But in this movie, he has a son. Well, not in this movie, but he has a son that shows up later. And I guess they don't talk about the connection enough, you know, because Shawn, would you know who his son would be?
The Thinker's son? Or not Thinker, the Tinkerer?
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Shibuya? Would you know where we would have seen his son?
I don't think so, no.
His son would be Rick Mason.
Right.
From Black Widow.
Right.
The guy who gets her the jets and stuff. That's pretty crazy.
Speaking of that, just really quick, speaking of Black Widow, I just want to celebrate here today. Ike Perlmutter got fired, and he was the reason that movie took so long to be made. So
that's true.
Big ups to the most hated man at Marvel, Ike Perlmutter. Fuck you. I'm glad you're gone.
Yeah, fucking rotten hell.
He's not dead. He got fired, but hopefully he'll die soon. Who knows?
So Toombs and his crew are cleaning up the wreckage at Grand Central Station when they're stopped by the Department of Damage Control. Anne-Marie Hogue, I don't know, walks on screen and says, under executive orders, 396B, all post-battle cleanup operations are under the jurisdiction of the DODC. Toombs pleads with Hogue, I don't know, to show some sympathy, but there's nothing she can do. Her foreman makes a snide remark and gets decked in the face for it. Any problems Toombs has should be taken up with her superiors, aka Tony Stark.
Yo! You guys remember when this was going to be a TV show?
I do. I do remember that.
You learn something new every day, because I never knew that shit.
Yeah, they were working on it, but probably fell through.
It was before this movie came out. It was, I think, a year before or something, but it never happened. It was going to be like a half-hour comedy thing about damage control.
Fuck yeah, I could see that happening easily.
Yeah.
So while Mason is tinkering with some of the alien tech to make a floating turbine, they realize they still have yeah, I did say it. They still have a truckload of stuff from the previous day. They decide to keep it because the world's changing. It's time we change too. I said that yesterday.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard the world's changing, it's time we change too in one day while watching two different forms of media, I'd have 2 nickels. But it's weird that it happened twice. I fucked that up. But also they said it in Bad Batch this week. So I was like, oh. I watched Bad Batch and then I watched Spider-Man and I was like, oh shit, there's that line again.
Motherfucker planning out his like multiple watch throughs with a narrative through line. Sorry, Tyler.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
8 years later, which isn't true.
Don't worry about it.
It should actually be 4 years later.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Because if it was 8 years, if it was 8 years, it'd be 2020. The snap would have happened. None of that makes sense.
You absolutely know that if this movie had been made by Disney instead of Sony, like if it had been a Disney or distributed by Disney, not made by, because they did make it pretty much, but if it had been distributed by Disney, they would have fixed that shit. They should. But how they go back and they change shit all the time.
I was gonna say they should change it now, but I forgot. Not on Disney Plus. They can't patch it.
It's not on Disney Plus. I don't think they can change the version that gets distributed at this point. I think it's just Sony. It's up to Sony at that point.
Sony should change it. Just patch it.
Sony's not gonna fucking change it.
Cut that
Have you
part
seen
out?
the movies they make? They don't care about 8 years later.
Slap a 4 over it. Slap a 4 over it.
Did you watch Morbius, dude?
And then when Michael Keaton says 8 years ago,
no one cared about Morbius, motherfucker.
Just dub someone saying 4. It doesn't have to be him. Just 4. You know.
Would you go into the studio to do it, Tyler?
SpongeBob narrator voice just slapped on that.
Yeah.
4 years later.
Yeah, if this was a Disney thing, they would have fucking fixed that. But they would have like cut the line or something. They would have changed the title card, but Sony doesn't give a fuck. They're about to make a movie about El Muerto. They don't give a fuck.
God, they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. Bad
They
Bunny,
shouldn't, but they're gonna.
Bad Bunny, actually, decent wrestler, but they shouldn't make this movie.
We get the Marvel credits at this point, right? Or not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So there's a whole now 4 years later, there's a whole operation with this alien tech, stuff being shipped, money being counted. Toombs flies in with his giant mech wings as the Vulture. No one calls him the Vulture. I mean, he writes it on a note at some point, like the caught the Vulture guy. But business is good, and now we get the Marvel intro with the Spider-Man theme. Michael Giacchino.
I love Michael Giacchino.
Also like that the Vulture theme is the Avengers theme, but in minor key.
Shit, that's cool.
I fucking love Michael Giacchino. He never misses. He never misses.
His scores are really fucking good.
Although I had some weird, like, I always thought that when I thought someone always asked him how business is going, and he said booming. I don't know where I got that from. So after the opening thing, we get this crazy sequence of a film by Peter Parker. Peter has filmed Civil War from his point of view. This includes riding by the Stark Expo, which he was at, a couple years ago. It was 4 years ago, actually. No, it's 6. Pranking Happy in his sleep, realizing this hotel way bigger than they thought, and jumping in to take Cap's shield. And it ends with Tony making an alibi for Aunt May. He says, "Hey May, how you doing? What are you wearing? Something skippy, I hope."
Oh, Tony.
But you know what? It's so nice to have another hero show up in someone else's movie, and you can like make the connection from point A to B on how they got here, and they still feel like the same character.
I don't know, dude. I've been told that that's the worst thing in the world, and that they should stop doing that. Because if Spider-Man has other characters around him, then it means that it's the movie's bad. So I don't know.
It's not like Spider-Man team-ups are a regular and constant thing in the fucking comics or anything. You know,
he's a lone wolf.
Why would constantly a lone wolf?
Wolverine has all the team ups in the comics. He's hanging out with everyone, making quips, swinging around.
Yeah,
being a little guy.
Oh, he is just a little guy.
4-2 king. Wolverine.
He's a little guy.
So Tony is gonna let Peter keep the suit, but don't stress Happy out. Don't do anything I would do, and definitely don't do anything I wouldn't do. They'll call him when they need him. And here's where we get one of my favorite bits of. That's not a hug. I'm just like getting the door for you. We're not there yet.
Yeah, it's Tony and Peter's dynamic here is good. I'll be the one bold enough to say that I love this shit. I love this shit to death.
Good.
I think it's so fucking good.
It's very good.
Tony's a good dad.
Yeah.
Huh?
Unlike a certain other character, Tyler, who's not a good dad. Talking obviously about Goku, who we know is.
Oh, that was not obvious actually, because I was like,
I thought you were talking about ego, and you just didn't want to fucking say it.
No,
I was like, Toombs? Who?
No, I was talking about Goku.
There's a lot of dads. There's a lot of dads.
Because you don't like it when people say that Goku's a bad dad, so that's why I said it.
He's not a great dad.
Yeah, but you don't like it when
What's the other comparisons? Like a lot of other anime dads are just fucking dead, Goku's died a couple times, So 2 months later, Peter is still checking in with Happy to see if he's needed. And just like every time for the past few months, he gets no response. He does ask Happy about Black Widow, though. As he makes his way to Midtown High, he almost gets hit by Flash Thompson's car. Played by Tony Revolori. Not the car, but Flash himself.
Yeah?
What's up, Penis Parker? We see Betty Brant, played by Andrea Rice, on the school news with her co-host Jason. They talk about homecoming, and she also declines the offer. An accurate display of awkward school news. And on the school mural, we see lots of scientific figures, including Howard Stark. I think Hank Pym's added by the time we get to No Way Home, though. So Peter's friend Ned leads, played by the CEO of Sex himself, Jacob Batalon.
Very true. Very true.
Shows
Very
up
true.
to get some help building the Lego Death Star that has 3,803 pieces. Shawn, you know what that means?
How many? 3,000. What was the number again?
3,803.
And 3.
383?
3803.
3803.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. What am I not thinking of?
Shawn,
I don't know
that
what that
means
means.
that this is the Lego Death Star from 2008.
Why the fuck would I know that?
Because you're the
Why
Star
would I
Wars
know
guy.
that?
You're the Star Wars guy.
That's such a fucking weird thing to know,
That's
Tyler.
so funny.
Tyler, you think that because I like Star Wars, I
I
know
love
the exact
obscure
fucking
bits, let's
piece
go!
count? I know the exact fucking piece count of every single Lego set that has ever come out that is Star Wars themed?
Yeah.
I know the exact piece count of every Kingdom Hearts Lego set that's come out.
Yeah, it's 0.
Yes, correct.
Okay, Shawn, this means it's the 2008 version of the set and not the 2016 version that has 4,016 pieces, you know? I thought you'd know that.
Yeah? Why is that relevant,
I just
Tyler?
figured you'd
What is-
know.
Because
Why
it's
is
in the
that-
movie.
why?
It's relevant
Why
because
would-
it's in the movie.
Why would I know that? Why would I possibly know that?
I don't know, dude. Maybe you're the Star Wars guy. That's all there is to
Am
it.
I? Am I?
Yeah.
To that extent?
Yeah. And you still watch The Mandalorian, even though it's gone on a bit too long. You know?
All right, we gotta move on.
I can't believe that. This is when he drops the thing. He's in the suit, right?
No.
No, they're still at the school, and Ned
Oh, they're
walks
still
up
at
to
the
his
school, and
locker,
he's
and it's
saying
just
he's
like,
going
"Hey,
to
dude,
build
we
it."
gotta
Okay,
finish
yeah,
the
yeah,
Death
yeah.
Star later."
Yeah, so
okay.
Peter declines, though, because of the Stark internship. Ned invites himself over, but Peter doesn't hear him because he's too busy staring at Liz Allen, played by Laura Harrier. We see Peter doing what every high school kid does, which is check the time constantly as he goes from class to class.
Yep.
He makes web fluid and chemistry. At lunch, Peter creepily wonders if Lizzie has a new top. When Michelle, played by Zendaya, tells him it's too late to wonder if he's being creepy.
Yeah. Michelle.
Michelle.
That's her name.
Michelle.
Yep.
Michelle. That's it.
During academic decathlon practice, we see some more characters, including Abraham and Cindy Moon. Peter tells Mr. Roger Harrington, played by Martin Starr, and returning from the Incredible Hulk, that he'll have to sit nationals out since he can't go to DC in case Stark needs them. Everyone's telling Peter that he needs to go to the nationals because he's one of their best members, and Michelle states that he's already quit marching band and robotics. But, she's not obsessed. She's just observant. The bell rings and Peter's out of there. He goes to Del Mar's bodega to get some food, and Mr. Del Mar asks about Aunt May, but Italian says that she's a very hot Italian woman. I agree. Peter responds in Italian asking about his daughter, and he gets a little upcharged on the sandwich. But he gets the sandwich, goes into an alley, and he suits the fuck up.
Hey. Oh. Let's
It's funny
go.
to watch someone put their suit on, just like actually have to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then just kind of suction cups to his body.
Yeah, and now he's a CGI character.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's the point where it transitions.
No, he's a cartoon character. Oh my God.
He stops a bike thief, rides a train. He stands in front of an American flag, and this is where we get Clev. Like, you're that Spider guy on YouTube, right? Call me Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man, do a flip.
Do a flip. Yeah.
And the guy next to
People, I would say people might not know this, and they might think that this is a joke listening. We will see this man again.
We will.
Yeah.
We will see this
We'll
man
actually
again.
see both of those guys again. Because
We will see both of these men again.
the guy next to him is the same actor as the axe-wielding guy from Werewolf by Night.
Really?
Yeah.
But is it the same character?
No, but it is
Damn.
the same guy.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we're going to see this character again.
No, you're 100% correct. We are.
Yeah. But we're going to see the guy again, too. Yeah.
So he gives away directions. He stops a car thief, and everyone yells at him for making a ruckus. And we also see Stan Lee as a disgruntled citizen Gary.
What a great Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
And the montage ends with him failing to swing and calling Happy as he eats churro.
When he's texting like on the train and stuff, this happened earlier, but I realized that I missed it in my notes. I had a joke that I wanted to make, but when he's texting like, "Hey Happy, I'm ready to suit up again. You know, I'm ready for the fight." He's gonna be fucked when they subpoena his texts.
Yeah.
When they're like,
God, yeah.
when they're like, yeah, we're taking Tony Stark to court for whatever. We need to subpoena all of Happy's texts to
Oh, fuck.
to see what he knows. It's just, why is Peter Parker asking to suit up again?
Happy can just go, nah, I teach him boxing. I teach the kid
yeah.
like kung fu. That's
He says he's ready to be a superhero. Yeah, you know how
I work with
kids
Tony
are.
Stark, man. You know, he looks up to him, and I'm like, yeah, you can be a hero like him. You got to learn to defend yourself. Put him up, kid.
So he spots some guys going to rob a bank's ATM room and prepares to get to work. He quips pretty good. You know, Thor, Hulk, good to finally meet you guys. He fights them.
God, he quips while he fights.
This entire
Spider-Man.
opening bit where he's just doing Spider-Man shit. So good.
We finally have Spider-Man.
So he fights until one of them turns the weapon up, but can't control the blast, destroying Delmar's bodega. At Avengers Tower, Happy is prepping to move all the stuff upstate to the compound. Dummy is also here. Tony sold Avengers Tower. Peter climbs back into the room where he doesn't notice Ned there as he quietly sneaks in. This is where we get the reveal that Ned finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man from YouTube.
From YouTube. God, the pan around to Ned is just really good. Like it's just, it's so good.
A lot of this movie's comedy still holds up, and I'm so happy for that.
It's funny.
So he tries to talk his way out of it. Doesn't really work. May burn the turkey meatloaf, so they're gonna get Ty. Ned can't come, but luckily the only thing smoking is her. Hey, Ned asks if he's an Avenger.
The Rizzler, dude. The Rizzler.
He's a Rizzler, dude.
The Rizzler.
Peter's kind of an Avenger, but Ned still can't tell anyone. May must not find out everything that's happened. And of course, Ned's like, well, how do you do this and a Stark internship? Ned, come on, fella.
Come on, dude. Come on, CEO of sex. Come on.
At the Thai place, May says Larb.
Okay. Really quickly, I just wanna, that scene, like, because he takes his clothes off.
Yeah.
He's just standing there in his underwear when May comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My mother would ask questions. I don't know about you guys, but if my mother walked into that scene, she would have been like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, your mother would, but some parents know better than to ask. Aunt May is one of those.
Some parents are
she
just
knows,
like, "Oh, you're changing in front of the homies?
You're teenagers. I'm no, just not while I'm home." And then walks out. Based. Very based of her.
Based.
So, at the Thai place, May says Larb a lot. And says she doesn't like that Stark guy. She sees news of the robbery on TV, and she tells him to run the other way if he sees something like that. They also have a funny picture from coming out of a porta potty. And then the waiter brings her some free sticky rice pudding on the house.
In the house?
Because everyone loves Aunt May.
As they should.
Including me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, in a different way there.
Yeah.
So
when we're done with this, Marissa Tomei is just going to get this, like, sense that she needs to get a restraining order to somebody named Tyler. She's not going to know what it means.
she's going to feel the vibes even from where she's at.
It's going to be like... She's gonna be like this mental thing, like where she knows. She's like, I gotta do this. I don't know why, but I have to.
On the way to school, Peter tells Ned how he got his powers, and Ned wants to know if the spider would bite him. But it would probably hurt. He's really worried about the pain. But luckily for him, Spider's dead. They come across a bodega, and Ned starts his questions of what Spider-Man can do. He asks if he lays eggs, puts venom, summon an army of spiders, how far he can shoot his webs. While the Sokovia Accords are talked about in fucking class. It's only been 2 months since Civil War. I mean, shit, dude.
Yeah, but that's current politics.
Yeah.
I remember being in high school when current politics was happening. No one shuts the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
My teacher never talked about that shit. No. Good on him. Keep me in the past. During PE, Coach Wilson, played by Hannibal Buress, shows him a video of Captain America for Captain America's fitness challenge. My note says "Getness challenge."
It's so funny.
Peter
It's so
tells
good.
it is a good bit. I like when he's standing on the wrong side of the video.
He waves, like he smiles and waves.
Peter tells Ned that he stole Cap's shield, and where the visual gag happens. He goes, "Thank you, Captain. I'm pretty sure that guy's a war criminal now, but whatever. I can show these videos. Covered by the state."
One of my favorite just one-off gags in this movie.
I honestly think that the side characters, like the comedic side characters in this movie, are my favorite in the whole MCU. All of the teachers at this school and all of the students are perfect. No notes. Love them all.
Ned asks more questions as Peter does sit-ups, and he's cranking them bad boys out, dude.
Yeah.
But I do love that as soon as he's complimented by the coach, he pretends to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is where Ned brings up being the guy in the chair as well. So Liz, Betty, Jason, and some other kid are playing Fuck, Marry, Kill with the Avengers. Betty says that she'd fuck Thor, marry Iron Man, and kill the Hulk. It's gonna be pretty hard to do. And here's where we learn Liz is kind of crushing on Spider-Man.
Ooh.
And they're like, "But what if he gets a burned face like Deadpool?" And she's like, "Well, I still love him for who he is on the inside."
Mm-hmm.
And then Ned blurts out that Peter knows Spider-Man. That they're friends through the Stark internship.
And Peter makes that face.
That's the face you have to make.
Yeah.
Flash, who's hopped down from a rope. He spawned in from up top.
He spawned this. They set the spawn point a little high on the map.
He doesn't believe them and invites them to Liz's party, even though she thinks Peter is too busy for parties. Later that night, May drops him off the party, and Ned is wearing a kind of cool hat. They walk in, and Flash is DJing, and Michelle's also here. Can't believe you guys are at this lame party, but you're here too. Am I? She walked off. We never see her again.
God, Zendaya's so good in
She's
this
so
movie
good in
in
this
all of these
fucking role.
movies. But yeah,
Liz greets them, and Peter's pretty awkward, but she has to run off to tend to something breaking. Peter's like, "Spider-Man is not some party trick. I'm gonna just be myself." And Ned goes, "Dude, no one wants that." You're just like,
me when
"Dude."
I'm at the bar with my friends.
After being picked on by Flash, he goes to the roof to spider it up. But when he's about to go in, he sees a blue explosion in the distance. He goes to investigate. But he can't really swing across a golf course now, can he?
No,
This isn't a PS2 game.
thank God.
At the site of the explosion, Jax and Bryce shows off some of their weapons. Potential buyer Aaron Davis, played by Donald Glover.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
so good in this movie. I love all the fucking like bad guys in this movie too.
Yeah.
Like there's a comedy to the to like the grunts that is very accurate to the comics.
So
Like-
you got Vulture, you got the Shocker, Tinkerer, you got Scorpion, Prowler. Scorpion.
You know, Vulture's pretty serious, but everybody else around him is kind of a little funny, kind of a little dorky, a little weird. And that's just very accurate to the comics, so I love it.
Yeah, like they got roped into this scheme, but at the end of the day, they're still just dudes. And sometimes
Yeah.
dudes are just goofy.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
So they have a weapon made from a sub-Ultron arm from Sokovia. Whoa. He's got black hole grenades from Thor: The Dark World, Atari railgun, fucking climbers, anti-grav climbers. But I do love Aaron's line here, which is, I just need something to stick up someone. I'm not trying to shoot them back in time." Which is, buy a gun, Aaron.
I love that fucking line. I don't want to shoot him back in time.
But Peter's phone goes off. A very peculiar ringtone. And so everyone's now alert. He stops him from shooting Davis and gets clocked one of Crossbones' gauntlet that's been modified. Before he can drive off, he webs onto the van and gets dragged through the streets. Herman isn't having any more of this. He's calling Tombs. He eventually gets shaken loose and has to run through backyards like Ferris Bueller style, which is obvious because they also show the movie.
Yeah.
Ned leaves Peter a message, and just as Peter catches up, he is grabbed out of the air by the Vulture. His parachute sends him back to the ground and into a lake, and he almost drowns, but he's saved by Iron Man. Tony put a tracker in the suit. He put a lot of stuff in the suit. And Peter feels a responsibility to take down the Vulture, but Tony says there are people who take care of these sorts of things, and they're not the Avengers. This is a pretty low-level thing. In fact, Tony's not even here. He's remote piloting the suit, just like we saw Iron Man 3. He still got it. He tells Peter to stay close to the ground and help the little people, like the woman who gave him the churro, which I think is a pretty neat way of showing us that Tony is listening. He sees these messages.
Yeah,
he hears the voicemails. He gives a shit.
Yeah.
Tony tells Pete to think about college and drives off while Friday flies the suit back to wherever she was stored. Walking back, Peter finds a piece of the tech from the weapon, and Ned calls Peter to inform him of the Penis Parker chant. "I'm sorry, Peter. Guess we're still losers." At Toombs' shop, he uses some portal tech to reach into... not him, but Tinker uses some portal tech to reach into a fridge. And Toon comes in.
There's rain outside.
Period.
Like right outside my window.
Mason brings
so
up the completion of the high-altitude vacuum seal in case Toon wants to go for the big one. Jackson and Herman come in, and Jackson is gloating about how cool it was, and Toombs is pissed about firing weapons out in the open. Gotta keep it under the table, You're out there wearing that goofy thing, lighting up cars, calling yourself the Shocker. I'm the Shocker. I shock people. What's this, pro wrestling? Toombs fires Jackson, but Jackson says that he knows a lot, and how would Toombs' wife like to know where he got his money? Toombs grabs an untested weapon and fires it, which just disintegrates Jackson. He hands Herman the gauntlet. He says, "Now you're the Shocker. Go out there and find that weapon you lost." Pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't he say like, I thought that was the gravity gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is very, very funny.
And Mason's like, "No, that's that one."
Yeah.
In shop class, Peter's toying with the piece of tech and thanks me, you fucking idiot. It says Peter's toying with a piece of tech in shop class. Why would I say that? While the teacher only seems to be concerned with anyone cutting themselves. Whoever is making these weapons is combining alien tech with our own. And they're taking the power source to the lab. Or as they're taking the power source to the lab, Herman and Randy walk in looking for it. They tracked it here. Peter goes to follow them and almost gets caught. And you know what? I respect Herman for looking at the ceiling, knowing that Spider-Man can climb walls. But you know what he didn't do? Check under the tables. Peter places a tracker on them, and track their whereabouts for like, I don't know, a couple days. I don't know how long they were there. Maybe just a day. And even flashing the spider signal from Civil War. And they end up in Maryland. The only way to get even close to Maryland, Peter to go on the trip, the academic decathlon. Pretty convenient, but it is what it is.
I mean, coincidences happen. Sometimes that's just a thing.
Never. Life is set. So Peter shows up to the trip and everyone welcomes him back and Flash gets demoted to first alternate. On the bus, they pass a sign to inform people of the Triskelion cleanup operation they're doing. Because they guess they still haven't done it. Still haven't finished that up. I guess the helicarriers are big. As they do some practice trivia. Happy calls Peter asking him why he left New York. Just the academic decathlon, you know. At the hotel, which, fun fact, I've actually been to that hotel.
Oh, shit.
You have?
Yeah. Because that hotel's in Atlanta.
Yeah, because they shoot everything in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I immediately
or they used
recognized
to, at least.
that lobby.
That's cool.
Peter gets Ned to help hack the suit and remove the tracker. Ned finds a bunch of subsystems that are locked off by the training wheels protocol. Ned doesn't think it's a good idea to turn them off, but Peter is sick of being treated like a kid as he jumps on the bed in frustration. He gets Ned to do it with the temptation of the guy in the chair. Peter sneaks out, but not before running into Liz, who's sneaking out with the rest of the kids to go swimming. She says this will help team morale, and this is pretty important to her in her future. Peter can't go, though. He's got to protect the future people as he heads for Maryland. As he puts the mask on and AI greets him, he sets them on the course to intercept the tracker. He activates enhanced reconnaissance mode and hears Mason talk about how he got the gauntlets from Lagos. And they're pretty much already in the middle of a heist. Poach some stuff from the Triskelion cleanup. He activates instant kill mode on accident and tries to swing a little closer, only to find out that his webs different right now. They're a little different. His default for combat is rapid fire, and he has 576 possible web shooter combinations. The convoy rolls up, and flying behind them is Toombs. He uses the portal tech from earlier to get inside the truck real clean. He takes it back from Toombs. Well, Spider-Man shows up, takes it back from Toombs, but can't hit him with the webs because the suit lady picked split webs for whatever reason. Peter stumbles into the truck and is trapped, knocking himself out. And then he wakes up. He thinks he's in there later, but actually he's in the damage control deep storage vault. He's going to be there until morning. He decides to give the suit lady a name, Karen. She's also voiced by Jennifer Connelly.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate with
Yeah.
with retrospect.
Probably we never see her again. But she's voiced by Jennifer Connelly, the wife of Paul Bettany.
Yep.
Oh shit.
She also played Betty Ross in 2003's Hulk.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. He messes around with his webs, contemplates telling Liz that he's Spider-Man. Karen tries to rizz him up, I think. I don't know. she says some things a little weirdly. But he's only been in here for 37 minutes. The cutting would make you feel like it would be longer. But he goes to look for something to help him get out, and he finds an Ultron head. That's crazy. And the thing he picks up before, like the gear thing he picks up, is actually the what's it called? It's like a key. What's the key? The turn
key
key.
to what? Like,
is the when Wanda is being selfish and killing Ultron with his heart or whatever.
Oh yeah.
This little gear thing is spinning within the thing that the other Ultron bot touches to drop the.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Neat.
But she tells Peter that the glowy thing they've had is an explosive Jatari energy core, basically a bomb, if hidden with some radiation. So he spends the night trying to override a time lock on the gate. I don't know if he's successful, but he finally gets out at some point. And he tries to call Ned, but there's no cell phones in the academic decathlon. While he makes his way there, the team wins, and it's all thanks to Michelle. And then they go to the Washington Monument. She says she doesn't want to celebrate something that was built by slaves. Mr. Harrison's like, no, there's no fucking way. And the guard's like, yeah, you know.
Dude, Mr. Harrison is great. I love I love that. And there was one earlier that I didn't mention, but also when they get there and Michelle is like, oh, I want to go protest at a few of the embassies or whatever. He's like, protesting is patriotic. And I'm like, based as fuck, Mr. Harrison. God, he rules. I love him.
He is very good.
I liked when Peter showed up for the trip. And Flash was like, you can't just show up and everyone's welcoming you back in. He's like, hey, Peter, welcome back. Flash, you're demoted. Or whatever. Peter has Peter finally gets a hold of Ned, but Ned isn't really listening, and the core goes through the metal detector, making it volatile. It detonates in the library? What happened to the library? In the elevator, and Peter has to go up there and save them. What happened to the library? Peter has 10 minutes to save them, and we get cuts between the tour guide reassuring the class and Karen saying the exact opposite. He uses the recon drone to find the best way in, but he needs some leverage in order to break through the glass. He eventually uses the helicopter to do so, and smashes through and saves everyone, but not before having an upside down moment with Liz. And Karen's like, kiss her, dude. Fucking plant one on her. And luckily, he can't. He falls through the fucking elevator shaft.
Yeah.
But Flash is...
But I love that. I love that whole scene. I love Peter being like, hey, big guy, stop moving around.
Really put the New York on.
Yeah, and I wrote in my notes, Liz almost got Gwen, but don't worry, it was okay.
Peter knows how to do it.
It was okay. Yeah, this Peter isn't a fuck up. Oh, that was so
mean. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but okay. Sounds really in his mean era.
I am.
Shit, where was I? Flash is more worried about the trophy and whether Peter's actually friends with Spider-Man. But back at the hideout, Herman is practicing with the gauntlet, and Mason can finish the next order, but because they didn't get anything from the Triskelion convoy, they're shit out of luck. They have enough to do the Gargan deal. That's it. Mason, again, just a high altitude seal, but Toombs not having it. Toombs swears that he's gonna kill Spider-Man. He's just gonna find him. He's just gotta find him. Luckily, he's on the fucking news right now. 4 years, not a word from the feds, nothing from those Halloween costume wearing bozos up there in the Stark Tower, and then all of a sudden this little bastard in red tights shows up and he thinks he can tear down everything I've built. I'm gonna kill him. On the school news, we get interviews from the students and Mr. Harrington. Now, as we know, we made it out alive, and that's the important thing. I couldn't bear to lose a student on a school trip. Not again. And they linger on his face. It's really funny.
It's so funny. These movies are very funny, and he's very funny in them, and I love that he's in all three of them for a very good amount.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best, side characters. Just character who completely does not matter.
So great.
And that suggests that they tell everyone that Peter's Spider-Man now that he's famous around the school. Peter's gonna ditch class because he's hot on the vulture's tail. Peter feels like he's above high school right now, because he wants that promotion to Avenger. Peter gets detention for the decathlon and gets to watch another funny Captain America PSA. Peter walks out and Coach Wilson, tries to stop him. He doesn't really. But
no.
He questions why Michelle is there. But she just likes to draw people in crisis. Peter goes home.
This movie is so funny.
And talks to Karen to try and figure out who the guy under the bridge were. Karen can run facial recognition in the footage because she records everything he sees using the baby monitor protocol.
Baby monitor protocol?
We see some of Peter
never changed,
in the
Tony.
mirror messing around before we get an ID on Aaron Davis. It does list one of his aliases as the Prowler.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Okay.
Peter rolls up on Aaron using the enhanced interrogation protocol, which fucks up his voice, and Aaron asks about that because he knows what a girl sounds like. Clear Peter has never done this before. Aaron thinks Spider-Man is ballsy for telling the thugs to shoot him instead. I put shit in my notes. Instead of giving him, so he gives him information, right? He tells him where Toombs might be. Plus, he doesn't want these weapons in the neighborhood because he's got a nephew who lives here.
Wait, what?
In the deleted scene.
You guys don't think that'll ever be important in the MCU, right?
No way.
You guys don't think they'd never. They'd never.
But in the deleted scene, he does.
They'll never
he does
bring that
call,
back, right?
He does call someone named Miles.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be able to make it. Aaron says a guy he used to work with is gonna deal with him, and then stops Peter from walking away before he actually give him the location. Toombs is gonna be on the Station Island ferry, and Peter leaves with Aaron still stuck with the car. You're a bad guy. You deserve this. You're a criminal.
Come fix this.
And it is all in 2 hours. Like no, I have ice cream in here.
Dude, Donald Glover is so fucking good at comedic timing.
So he sneaks around the ferry and sees Toombs and Schultz and makes his way through to find the side of the deal. He finds Matt Gargan, played by Michael Mando, who gamers out there might know as Voss from Far Cry 3.
Dude, I was like, is that Voss? There's no way that's fucking Voss, right?
No, it is.
Is that?
It is Voss.
Damn.
He locates the truck and then gets a call from Tony telling him nice work in DC. He also tells Tony he's at band practice. And he's like, "Oh, didn't you quit band practice 6 months ago? 6 weeks ago?" But he hangs up on Tony and takes the keys from Mac. He also says yoink, which I think is funny. He takes out the guys and Toombs makes his way to the van. The FBI show up. Before they can talk it out, Toombs breaks out of the van in his full gear. Peter tries to subdue the Vulture, only takes the gun, which starts firing uncontrollably. He webs it, but then it just cuts the boat in half. Peter has to web up all the boat's strong points to keep it together, but he was only 98% successful. And then the boat starts to sink, and he tries to pull it together. Because what is a Spider-Man movie without some kind of Christ-like, imagery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how I was gonna, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. First one, second one.
I'm not saying
third one.
I'm not saying it's like it's not Man of Steel level, It's just like
Yeah, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah. Well, nothing is fucking Zack Snyder, so yeah. Yeah.
They're not gods among men. He's just he's a little spider guy.
Yeah, that's also Jesus Christ apparently.
He tries to pull it together, but then it gets a little easier because guess who? Iron Man's here. Hi, Spider-Man. Band practice, was it? Tony pushes the boat back together and welds it good enough for people to be rescued. And Peter's like, "What do you want me to do, Mr. Stark?" And he's like, "I think you've done enough."
Ooh.
Yeah. That's some real bad parent vibes there. Not bad
Yeah,
parent, but
that's some real.
something
We'll
a parent
talk
would say
about it when we get home.
makes you feel
Energy.
bad.
Yeah, that's real. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I will say, I don't like this armor on Tony. The Mark 47.
You don't?
I don't like the gray,
I think it looks all right.
I'm not a fan of it. It just offsets the red and gold,
Okay, all right.
I think the comic suit is based on is ugly as well. So back at the hideout, Herman's out. He's like, you know what? The feds were waiting for us. Iron Man's looking at us now. It's time to quit. Toombs has no other choice. and asks Mason to get the high altitude seal up and running. It's time for the big one. Back with Peter, Iron Man flies over to give him a talk like a dad. Like, is everyone okay? No thanks to you. Peter says that he tried to tell him, but no one listened to him. And if Tony actually cared, he'd actually be here. Well, Peter, you look foolish, because Tony is here. Tony did listen. That's why the FBI is here in the first place. He was the only one who believed in Peter. And, Peter interrupts and he starts to sound like a dad. And he's like, what if someone died tonight? Different story, right? Because that's on you. And if you died, I feel like that's on me. So I'm sorry, sir. Sorry doesn't cut it. I just want to be like you. And I wanted you to be better. Tony's going to need the suit back. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit. If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. Peter sulks home, and May is upset about his absences, not answering his phone. Makes her a little nervous. I mean, Ben only died 8 months ago, I think. Yeah, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
She tells him to cut the bullshit. He knows about Washington, sneaking out at night, leaving detention. He tells her he lost the Stark internship. Classic misdirect. Classic. At school, Peter talks to Principal Morita, who is, I assume, the grandson of Jim Morita of the Howling Commandos. And we also see a picture of him on the desk, played by the same actor, all that stuff. And he has attention for a while. Michelle's also there drawing him. But he's attending classes. He's doing well. He's living a normal life. Because guess what? Peter usually does pretty well when Spider-Man is out of the picture.
Yeah. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
He runs into Liz in the hallway and confesses that he likes her, but she already knew that. He's not great at keeping secrets. And Peter, your response there shouldn't be what you said. Well, you have no idea. Like, okay, you shouldn't have said that one. That seems weird. But he asks her to homecoming, and she accepts. Peter now has to learn the ins and outs of going to a dance with a girl. Gets everything prepared, knows how to dance, kinda, and then he goes to her house to meet her. And when he opens the door, we start one of the tensest scenes in movie history.
This was so fucking good in the theater, dude. You could hear a pin drop when this shit happened.
It's such a good twist.
Like an audible gasp in my theater.
Yeah.
Someone opens the door. The music cuts out. It's Adrian fucking Toomes. Her father. Peter, you've been risen up the bad guy's daughter this whole time. And now Peter looks like he's nervous for meeting his crush's dad. Not because he's sitting face to face with the guy he's been chasing. He looks extra pale when Toomes is holding a knife. Before they can leave, they take pictures, and Peter can't keep his eyes off Adrian. And Toomes is also going to drive them to their dance. That's pretty cool.
They both play that scene so well.
The interaction, especially in the car.
Yeah.
Is so good.
Even the way that Peter, like you said, keeps his eyes on him the whole time. Like, he hands things to Liz, and he's always just, like, locked on to Adrian, and it's great.
In the car, Toomes asks Peter about his future. And here's where Liz can't keep her fucking mouth shut. She tells
She's
her
a
dad,
teenage girl, of course.
She tells her dad about the Stark internship, how he got to hang out with Spider-Man, and how he was only at the party for like 2 seconds. He said that he disappeared like he always does, and like he did in DC. Toomes asked Peter if he was...
Sorry, what was that? What? Huh?
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, he disappeared in DC. That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
Toomes asked Peter if he was scared on the elevator, but Peter basically has no choice but to say that he wasn't in the elevator. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This guy might be Spider-Man, but A wise person once told me that sometimes things are just a coincidence. And I don't remember who said it, but sometimes things just kind of line up that way.
Maybe it's just a coincidence.
He doesn't have to be Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But
I think it's a coincidence.
they're sitting at this red light. Liz is like yapping her mouth, and something clicks. Toombs' brain, and the light turns green.
Oh,
It's so good.
Good old Spider-Man.
oh.
They get to their dance, and Toombs has to have the dad talk, Peter. Then he spawns a gun and asks if Liz knows that he's Spider-Man. Gonna give Peter a chance because he saved Liz's life. Go to their dance, get all this ever happened, and never ever interfere with his business again. Otherwise, they'll kill Peter and everyone he loves. They'll kill him dead. Hey, I just saved your life. Now what do you say? Thank you. Peter walks into the dance floor, but immediately leaves knowing that he's got to do the right thing. He runs and grabs his homemade suit because guess what?
I love the old suit.
He doesn't need Stark Tech to beat this guy.
No, he's Spider-Man.
He's fucking Spider-Man. Top of a bus with his bare hands. He doesn't punch anyone. He hasn't punched a person this entire movie because he's just that strong. So he grabs his homemade suit and he runs outside only to be hit by the shocker.
Oh.
He gave you a choice.
Yeah.
You chose wrong. What if Peter didn't come out that door? What if he just went a
Then he
different
would
way?
have just been hanging up.
What if Peter went outside but with a bunch of other kids to go smoke weed? Would the guy still have attacked them?
Yeah, because they're smoking weed. They're not 21 yet. Don't do that.
I feel like the dude with the shocker suit would just go, "Hey,
You pan
I'm
over
the
and
shocker.
there's
Hand me the blunt."
4 other kids
No,
who have
dude,
been hit.
He's no, dude. He's a responsible adult. He knows that you shouldn't be smoking weed if you're underage. And he's like, I'll take that. Now come back in a couple years and I'll give it back to you.
You know what's funnier? I think these are high schoolers. High schoolers don't give a fuck. They would have beat the shit out of the shocker.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Much less high schoolers from New York.
He would have taken that. He'd be like, you can have this back when you're older, and they're like, no, we'll have it back right now.
One of them immediately kicks him in the balls.
Yeah, just
immediately.
He's like, oh. One of them takes the fucking gauntlet off of his hand and starts hitting him with it.
Oh
yeah. Peter got punched so hard that his web shooter came off. And he knocks Peter around a lot. And I'm shocked that no one's hearing this bus tumbling around outside, but you know.
You're I'm sorry, you're what?
What?
You're shocked.
Oh.
I'm shocked.
Is that what I said? Did I say shocked? Did I say that?
You did say shocked.
That wasn't even a conscious thing.
Let's go.
But before he can finish off Peter with a punch, his hand gets webbed. Who is it? It's Ned with the web shooter.
Let's go.
Peter web shot into a bus and tells Ned to call Happy and track Peter's phone. Peter needs to get there, so he stops Flash and takes his car and his phone, but Peter has never driven before. Basically, only in parking lots. He has Ned track his phone, which he left in Toombs' car, which means that, you know, he was never not going to chase this. Ned is the guy in the chair he always wanted to be. He gets through to Happy, but gets hung up on when he learns that Ned is a friend of Peter's. Ned tells Peter where Toombs stopped, and he got in touch with Happy. It sounded like he was taking a flight. This is when Peter realizes that Toombs is going to attack the cargo on moving day. Happy says they still need to load up Tony's old Hulkbuster armor, the new prototype cap shield, and Thor's magic belt. Peter goes in to confront Toombs, and a teacher catches Ned on the computer, but luckily he comes up for it by telling her that he was only looking at porn. Peter walks.
Of course.
Peter,
you know.
Yeah.
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 Peter walks up on Toombs, and Toombs tells him that he admires Peter's grit. He says he's doing this for his family. He says that the higher ups don't care about people like them. They have to eat the table scraps. But this is all distraction to get the wings.
Kind of spitting.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of spitting. This is all distraction to get the wings going and break the structural support of the building that is now dropping on Peter as he goes out and waits to intercept the flight. Peter is trapped in the rubble of the building and can't get out. And this mirrors an iconic scene from the comics. I think it's the issue is called The Final Chapter. It's not until he sees his half reflection in the puddle and some flashback words from Tony that he gains the strength to get out. Oh, come on, Peter. Come on, Spider-Man.
Oh, it's so good.
He manages to get out before Toombs takes off and takes the ride on Toombs up to the plane. He activates the high altitude vacuum seal and has 30 seconds to override the security as Peter is struggling to get the grip on the outside of the plane.
And the plane is in like stealth mode, right?
Yeah, it has the reflective panels.
So I'm pretty sure this is a reference to a I remember being a kid and there's like a Spider-Man cartoon from like the fucking 80s where the Vulture has like an invisible like blimp. It is in The Vulture Has Landed from 1982. It's an episode of an animated Spider-Man cartoon where there's like the Vulture has a giant airship and it is invisible and Peter has to find it. So it's I think it has invisible paint on it because you know it was the 80s.
Yeah.
And so
no one would ever thought of retro reflective panel.
Yeah, invisible paint. But I remember sitting in the theater and being it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. I'm pointing at the screen. I'm like, I know this. I saw that episode.
So, with the mission a near success, Toombs goes to look at all the stuff. There's like a bunch of arc reactors. There's some other armor. There's the Mark 42, which is from Iron Man 3. Peter breaks the seal and alerts Toombs, and now they're having an air battle as the plane loses a turbine. Nope, 2 turbines. Peter sees the plane heading for the city and redirects it to Coney Island. Happy, who thinks everything is going very well, is now seeing a plane about to crash. And it does crash. Peter gets up, ears still ringing when the Vulture comes right at him. He gives Peter the work until he decides the loot is more important. Peter tries to warn him about his exploding wingsuit, but Toombs not listening. He tries to web him back, but guess what? He's out of webs. He runs in and saves Toombs after the explosion and leaves him tied up for the authorities along with as much of the stuff as he could save. Found. Flying Vulture guy. P.S. Sorry about your plane.
So, as well, in the episode of that cartoon from the 80s, the plane, goes down and Peter leaves the Vulture tied up on a beach.
Nice. The next day at school, he sees Liz and her mom. He apologizes about the dance and her dad. Liz is moving to Oregon, and her dad doesn't want them there during the trial. Bye, Peter. Whatever is going on with you, I hope you figure it out. After the decathlon meeting, Mr. Harrington appoints Michelle the new captain of the team. But her friends call her MJ.
Wait, what?
Oh,
shit. Let's go. What?
Peter gets a text from someone telling him to meet them in the bathroom, but before he can go, MJ asks him what he's hiding. But then she's like, I'm just fucking with you. I don't care.
Yeah,
but actually, I do care. Don't worry about it.
But yeah. We'll get to that next movie.
In the bathroom is Happy, and he's here to tell Pete that he really owes him. He saved his job, but they're interrupted by the chess club guy. He flushes and has to wash his hands. Tony wants to see Peter, but guess what? He's not in one of the stalls. He's upstate. At the Avengers compound, Tony greets them and apologizes for taking this. There's
a very important scene as we're approaching the Avengers compound where we watch the Audi car go into self-driving mode. Just wanted to make sure, like the Marvel movies are sponsored by Audi, so are we. So we got to make sure to mention their advertisement.
I hope they give me a car for that. Now, at the Avengers compound, it must be turn 5. Tony greets them and apologizes for taking the suit. It was a good.
Oh, shut the fuck up! That was a Marvel snap joke.
Tony greets him and apologizes for taking the suit. It's a good tough love motivator. Tony says he was wrong about Peter. He could be a real asset to the team. When Peter's ready, he can step into his new suit, which we will know as the Iron Spider suit, and go introduce himself to 50 reporters as the newest official member of the Avengers. Happy will show him to his room. He's right next to Vision, who isn't too big on doors or walls. Peter says he's good. He's going to stay on the ground for a while and look out for the little guy. Peter asks if this was a test, and it was. And he passed. Except it wasn't a test. Not a test. There's a lot of reporters back there. Pepper, who we haven't seen since Iron Man 3, shows up to ask about where Peter went. And they're going to need a new announcement. So Tony gets a ring from Happy that Happy's been holding since 2008 and plans to propose. They'll figure something out as Peter walks back to the car. Also, weird fact here. Weird fact, and I'm sure you've seen it before. The shirt Peter's wearing in this scene is a shirt that Pepper wore when her and Tony are laying in bed together in Iron Man 3.
Oh shit.
Kind of weird. But two people can have the same shirt. Not a coincidence. Just a coincidence. When he comes home, he finds a suit, the suit on his bed. Tony gave it back, and he puts it on, but May's behind him. He says, "What the fuck?" Before the credits. More Blitzkrieg bop. The mid-credit scene here, we're at the prison. Adrian Toomes runs into Matt Gargan, who says that he got a scar from Spider-Man. Mac heard a rumor that Toomes knows who Spider-Man is. If I knew who he was, he'd already be dead. He's keeping that close to his chest.
Yeah, because it's gonna come back.
Yeah, it's gonna come back.
It's gonna come back, right, guys?
Yeah.
Because he's here. He's still in the universe.
Let's go. Cause some trouble.
He's still in the universe, right, Tyler?
He's
still. I don't fucking remember, dude. I don't remember.
I'm in this universe now for no reason because Sony fucking hates us.
The movie doesn't have like a final swing, but that's okay because the next two movies more than make up with it with their final swings.
Yeah. And that's kind of it for the movie, except we get the post-credit scene. One of the best post-credit scenes. Where it's another PSA from Captain America. He says, I'm Captain America. Here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have. Patience. Sometimes patience is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these we got? How many more of these are we doing? And that's it. That's Spider-Man Homecoming.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
A better comedic post-credit scene than it's over. Yeah, 3 in 1 episode.
So that was your one. That was your one.
That was
your one.
Baby. That was number 3.
Wait, what was the second one? Did I miss it?
You did miss it, actually. It's when I talked about another hero showing up in a movie and feeling like the same character. Yeah, you took that a different way.
Okay. I see.
But
So once, can you start writing these all down so that once we're fully caught up, we can have an episode where we go back and look through all the times that you have shit on Multiverse of Madness.
Hey, people in the comments section down below, can you keep track of how many times I miss someone shitting on Multiverse of Madness so that I can then, during the Multiverse of Madness episode, ruin their lives
make sure
for content.
Make sure to timestamp all the times I bring it up. That way I can make a Multiverse of Madness shit on Supercut. All right, but that's the movie. It's a good movie. And the MCU finally started. We're here.
Yeah, there's like I said last time, there's not a movie I dislike until Multiverse of Madness, so I'm very excited.
There's like some movies I'm iffy on. You know, it is what it is.
I at least enjoyed them.
I need to rewatch them. Basically, it's just the movies between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah,
you know, you know.
That makes sense. Knowing you,
they call it a cockpit for a reason. We're gonna play this clip 5 times in the movie. I get it. Men are bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jeez.
I'm sorry, he says.
All right. Any other thoughts before we move on?
No, I
Movie
think
good.
it's just
That's
time to do
all
the
I got.
categories.
All right. Let's go into the connections. So
yeah,
we have a lot of mini connections here. So as the mini board rolls up, actually, I don't know if it's going to be a mini board this week. It might be a kind of fairly sized board. There's a lot of stuff here. So of course we have the aftermath of the Battle of New York, right, from Avengers. But they're standing in Grand Central Station where Thor and Hulk crashed the Leviathan. Toombs' leg pieces are from the Hydra soldiers from Age of Ultron. The entirety of the homemade movie, Civil War, Iron Man 2 references. Forehead security, Iron Man 3. Black Widow and text messages, last scene Civil War. Howard Stark on the mural. Bruce Banner is in an image in the science class. Mr. Harrington from The Incredible Hulk. Dummy, last scene Iron Man 3. Mentions the Sokovia Accords. The Captain America is here in the movie. Principal Morita with his ties to the first Avenger. The gun made from the Ultron arm. The black hole grenade from Thor: The Dark World. Shocker Gauntlet from Crossbones. Civil War. Triskelion cleanup. Vibranium was mentioned as well. The turnkey and the Ultron head in the storage vault. The reflecting pool in DC, obviously, to start Winter Soldier. Hulkbuster armor mentioned. Age of Ultron. The Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. Pepper and Happy also returning from Iron Man 3. Vision was mentioned. And the Cyclone roller coaster, which is mentioned in Captain America Civil War, I think. When they're about to go into the base, Siberia. Remember when I had you get on the Cyclone and he was like, yeah, I threw up.
Mm-hmm.
I threw up.
I flew up.
As for the broad connections, as the board squeaks out, the moderately sized board squeaks his way out of here. We get, of course, the Avengers. We get Age of Ultron. We got Civil War, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, First Avenger, Thor: Dark World, and Winter Soldier. Easy enough, right? Easy enough. So, let's go on to
language.
This movie.
I'm gonna guess really quick that this one is kind of middle of the road. I don't think there's a lot of cursing in this movie.
Okay. Well, click in.
Yeah.
Okay. God damn.
Yeah.
Holy
man.
shit.
Yeah. I had to stop
Holy
myself from
shit.
saying anything when I clicked and saw it.
Holy shit.
This movie has
never mind.
28 swear words. I was really sweating because I was like, I don't want to have to redo this. I just redid it. Let's not.
It just barely prevents you from doing any extra work on this one.
So let's go through them.
Oh, great.
Oh no.
You know what? I'll be back in a second.
It's only a minute long.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
At 137, Adrian Toombs says,
You can't saw through that stuff. These alien bastards are tough. You gotta use the stuff they use.
at 213, Adrian Toombs says,
Who the hell are you?
at 313, Adrian Toombs says,
Your superiors. Who the hell are they?
at 324, Herman Schultz says,
A lot of assholes who made this mess are getting paid to clean it up.
at 636, Happy Hogan says,
What the hell are you wearing?
at 728, Peter Parker says,
What the hell? He's big now. I gotta go. Hang on.
at 1103, Principal Morita says,
You in my office right now.
he says, damn it. It's really hard to hear, but he says, damn it. At 1736, the car guy says,
It's my car, dumbass.
at
Man,
31,
it is his car.
58, Peter Parker says,
Hell.
you might notice that Peter Parker's favorite word is hell. Jackson Bryce.
He's a high schooler, yeah.
Jackson Bryce at 3308 says,
Okay, what the hell is that?
Peter Parker at 3552 says,
What the hell?
at 4027, Jackson Bryce says,
That was badass.
at 4114, Adrian says, nope, that's not what he says. There's one in here that I missed, I guess, where Adrian says,
You know what? I can't afford your bullshit.
and then Herman Schultz says,
Damn.
at 4156. At 4553, Ned Leeds says,
Badass.
at 5209, Peter Parker says,
What the hell just happened? What was that?
at 5943, Peter Parker says,
Liz? Damn it.
at 10521, Adrian says,
Damn it.
at 10540, he also says,
8 years. Got a
4
word from the feds.
4
Nothing
years
from
ago.
Those Halloween costume wearing bozos up there in Stark Tower. And then all of a sudden, this little bastard in red tights shows up. And he thinks he can tear down everything I built.
at 10913, Peter Parker says,
Hey, everyone. Yeah, kick-ass party.
at 11835, Peter Parker says,
What the hell?
at 11840, Peter Parker says,
What the hell?
at 12235, Aunt May says,
Cut the bullshit.
at 12735, Adrian says,
Hell of a grip.
at 13531, Peter Parker says,
Oh, what the hell?
at 13546, Herman Schultz says,
I wasn't sure about this thing at first, but damn.
at 13755, Happy Hogan says,
You gotta be shitting me.
at 13757, Ned Lee says,
Damn.
and that's it. Now we can look at where that ranks everyone. Not much has changed.
Okay.
So Adrian, he got 7 on the board. Pretty good. Herman got 3. Happy, he added 2 to his count. Now he's at 3. Peter went from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Respect.
Principal Morita got 1. The NPCs got 1. Now they're at 16. Jackson Bryce got 2. He's at 2. He's dead. Ned Leeds got 2 at 2. And May Parker is now at 1. The top 10 kind of changed, but not by a lot. So, Luis, he's out. He's out of the top 10.
Damn.
Peter Parker's in.
I salute him.
The top 10 goes like this. Tony Stark at 24. Yondu at 16. The NPCs at 16. Peter Quill at 14. Rocket Raccoon at 12. Steve Rogers at 11. Nick Fury at 11. Clint Barton at 10. Sam Wilson at 10. And Peter Parker at 10. I think that is all the bits we do.
Well, except for our ranking.
Yep. That's one. That's one of the ones we do.
Yeah.
You got me there.
Yeah.
All right, Shibuya, where do you rank this movie?
I love this movie. I've loved this movie for years. I've rewatched it so many times that I almost didn't feel like I needed to watch it again for the podcast, but I will take any excuse to rewatch Spider-Man Homecoming. It's No Way Home edged it out for me, but like this is the quintessential Spider-Man movie. If you just want to show it to a kid who's never seen anything Spider-Man related before, I think this is a perfect one to just throw someone into to get a feel for who he is and what he does. And I think this is the 5th best movie that we've watched. I'm ranking it at an 8.5. So it's tied with a couple of them, but I break ties by how fun and interesting I think they are. Depending on the day, could go higher, but like it's such a solid movie.
My turn?
Yeah.
So I really struggled with this one. Because I could not decide between 2 places for it.
Okay.
I love it pretty much as much as the movie next to it, but at the end of the day, only one movie can be number 1. And that is Spider-Man Homecoming is my new number 1. It just edges out Guardians of the Galaxy because I have more emotional attachment to Spider-Man. For no other reason than that.
I mean, that's fair. Listen, these lists are going to be biased all across the board. You see my fucking top movies.
Yeah, it's mine. Homecoming's a 5 out of 5 for me. I think it's like, it would be tied with Guardians of the Galaxy, but Spider-Man is just my favorite comic book character of all time, so I gotta put him up there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm coming in with kind of a wild thing to say here.
Okay.
But Spider-Man is an easy lock for number 1.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be number
almost
1 for
guaranteed. You. Like I gave Civil War number 1 for having him in it. This is his own movie. It's really good. I love Spider-Man. I'm a Spider-Man guy.
I love Spider-Man.
I'm the Spider-Man.
No, it's really
guy.
fucking good.
Like you'll never find anyone who likes Spider-Man other than me.
Yeah, sure. Tyler, I still really want to read Ultimate Spider-Man with you because I think that'd be a really good podcast, and because Ultimate Spider-Man's awesome. One day we'll get to do it. One day.
One more day.
No. We should do a podcast where I have to read all of the modern day Spider-Man comics and hate every second of it.
That sounds like fun.
It doesn't sound like fun for me.
All right. Now I think we're done with all the bits.
That sounds right.
All right. Where can everyone find you guys? Go ahead, speak up.
Go ahead, Shawn.
Okay. Follow me on Twitter at Shawn_AFK.
Nice. Shibuya?
YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, just at Shibuya Gato.
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Tyler Rims. And then I'm also on a little podcast called Overpowered, where I talk about anime with Corn. Right now we're on JoJo Part 3. We're about to hit the halfway point in a couple more episodes.
Yo.
Hell yeah.
As for this podcast, you can follow MCUnhinged on Twitter at MCUnhinged. You can also find us on Anchor at anchor.fm/MCU-unhinged. You can also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also, if we're not in a place that you listen to, come over to the Anchor page, copy that RSS feed, plug it into your podcast app of choice, and we will pop up there regularly for you. All right. Well, that does it for us. Next time, one of the arguably the best Thor movie, right? Thor.
Oh,
Who's gonna argue to the contrary?
Who's gonna? I don't know anybody.
Who the fuck disagrees?
Actually, there are some weird people that really like Dark World.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are weird.
It's a good thing they're not on this fucking podcast.
Yeah, no, easily the best. Dude, are we really getting Thor, Black Panther, Infinity War back to back?
Oh my god!
Oh,
it's the hot streak.
Oh
Shawn,
man,
you know what I gotta say during Black Panther, dude. You know what I gotta bring up. You know what I got to bring up?
Oh, the point!
The
Oh, I'm so
point.
excited.
Oh my god,
The point, dude. Oh, the point.
That's so far away. That's like a month away.
Yeah.
But Thor Ragnarok coming up next. We're soaring. We're soaring through phase 3.
We are. We're almost. to
We're
phase
riding
4.
high. We're just kicking our feet up on the dash, enjoying it at this point.
We're getting dangerously close to the part where we have to figure out how to do television shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the Why'd you bring it up? Anyways, we're getting out of here. Shibuya, sign us out.
Thank you all for listening. If you like the podcast, be sure to follow all of us. I assume all of our socials are in the description. And if you know people who like Marvel, hey, consider sharing the podcast with them too. Maybe they'll like MCUnhinged as much as you do.
That's right. Tell them that Shawn's favorite Spider-Man movie is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm always impressed that we remember how to do that.
Count?
What, count?
Yeah.
Say a single
Look,
word at the start of
look,
recording?
Look. This shit's hard, you know? There's a lot going on right now.
Remembering how to
1, 2, 3 can
function
be
as a
lot.
human being is hard. Counting is the easy shit.
That's true. But also, I forget how I start every single podcast that I do. So I'm just always... Mike and I will record something, and he'll, like, say the part where I'm supposed to say something, and I'll just sit there for a second and go, oh yeah, it's my turn. It's my turn to talk.
This is why editing is a godsend.
Yeah.
So, I went to the movies with my brother last weekend to
Nice.
see John Wick 4. And, man, it's so freeing to be able to talk during a movie, you know? So freeing.
Wait, was there just nobody that... Wait, what?
'Cause, you know, most of that stuff is action. It's an action movie. Most of it's action.
Oh, so
You
it
know the
doesn't
story
really,
happening.
you're not missing anything.
You can just
yeah.
you can just talk, right?
Yeah.
But he's never seen any of them before. But I was like, well,
Come on.
your other brother's busy, so if you want to come, I'm paying, so come watch a movie. And but he liked it, and the only part he didn't like was me making him sit through the credits because I knew there was a post-credit scene. Even though we could have done the tech where you just go to the bathroom during the credits and then come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smart.
Smart
But
move.
it's one of those things where like you've waited too long and now you're just unsure. Now you gotta wait.
You
it
don't
out.
know how
Like-
much credit is left, so you can't
Yeah.
really dip.
Can I share something that I just saw that is gonna make you guys think that we live in The Boys?
Sure.
So you guys know how this is tangentially related to this podcast. You know how Jeremy Renner was in that snowplow accident?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that there is going to be a special released on Disney Plus about it
Why?
What?
on April 7th?
Okay. That's
What the
weird.
fuck is
Jeremy
the
Renner
turnaround
will-
time on that shit?
Jeremy Renner will give his first interview since the snowplow accident with Diane Sawyer titled A Story of Terror, Survival, and Triumph. The special will release on April 7th on Disney Plus.
I'm...
And it's like a fucking documentary.
There's no reason
Yeah.
for this shit.
They really said, okay, Renner. Fucking you're on the contract still.
Yeah.
We gotta get some work out of you.
They...
I'm looking at the trailer. There's a trailer.
Why
They
is
have,
there
like-
a trailer?
They have like there's like footage of the day. And there's like footage of him in fucking like physical therapy. Like
Will someone
it's a
film it when it happens?
documentary. I don't
Why
know.
didn't they help?
And like I do love that everybody in the in the comments is like Vought
The
International.
stock footage of a goddamn snowplow. This feels like a Vought International tweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. They really looked at this man in the hospital and how everybody gave a shit, and then they saw the dollar signs and they were like, how can we profit off of the misery today, boys?
I said, oh, you're
Like-
up and moving? Get to work.
Wait, I think I know what this clip is, but I need to Yeah, I love somebody posted that video where that guy is on the Breakfast Club and he's like, he copied my whole fucking flow. Bar for bar.
Did they put footage of a snowplow coming toward the camera and say 13 minutes away? What?
Vought International. Yeah. So as a society, we're perfectly okay, guys.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
fine.
We're totally not headed towards some cataclysmic bullshit.
We're good.
You know, we
We're
are headed
good.
toward a comprehensive rundown of Spider-Man Homecoming on your favorite podcast, MCUnhinged.
MCUnhinged. Oh,
right.
God, I love calling it MCUnhinged.
MCUnhinged is so good. Like, hey, can I get the 4 for 4 MCUnhinged?
Yeah.